Hello everyone, my name is Julie and I am one of Christian Assembly's Kingdom Partners, and it is a privilege to send this message today. Our reading for the Daily Touchpoint, it comes from Amos chapter 1, and obviously it's the beginning of a new book, and Amos is introduced to us as a fig tree farmer and a shepherd, and is living towards the northern part of Israel, and he's talking about the king Jeroboam, who is, it talks about him, he's grown in wealth and become apathetic towards the things of God, and it's begun to worship idols, and it's led to many injustices and really an apathy to the poor. And so within that, it makes me think about really God's attention, God's heart for the poor, the places where Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom, or the time when he talked about there would be sight to the blind, and that the lame would walk, and that good news would be preached to the poor. And I just think about how much God's heart is really bent towards the poor, towards those who are on the margins, how much he cares about justice, and how much it matters to him that we care about these things. I've been privileged for many, many years to live in a village where, many of my neighbors survive on $1 a day, and there's real struggles for daily bread. There's real struggle for their children to be able to go to school or to access health care when they're sick. And, I want to be I believe that it matters to God that our eyes remain open to the suffering of those around us, to the needs that exist, that as Amos is writing about, like these injustices, this apathy to the poor, that we don't just read it as something that happened a long time ago and not recognize places in our lives, in our neighborhoods, in our world where we can apply these, like that we can have our eyes open. We can ask God to guide us so that we care for the injustices, so that we speak up for those who don't always have a voice, whose stories are not recognized as being worthy, whose lives have often been told that they don't matter. I believe that as children of God, that it's one of the greatest things that we're called to do is to love God and to love our neighbors. And I believe that one of the ways that we love God is by caring for the poor. And so today, as you read this, as you go into your neighborhoods, may we ask God to give us eyes to see, for our ears to be able to listen for God's voice, for our hearts to be softened towards the things that matter so much to God. And I believe that love is in the details. It's in the day-to-day, sometimes the mundane things of our lives, where we get to make choices to stop and notice, to pay attention to where God might be inviting us to listen, to recognize his leading in our lives. So be encouraged, friends, and may God continue to grow us in ways that allow his kingdom to come and his will to be done in our lives and for those around us.